I am a typical American statistic. Yes, you heard it here first. I am an American statistic. And what do I mean by that? Well, I think it's quite obvious at this point, right, that a lot of Americans are struggling, not just Gen Z, but especially Gen Z. Everybody is living, we say paycheck to paycheck, but really we're not even living paycheck to paycheck, right? We're getting into debt every month to pay our monthly expenses. We're living with our parents, even though we're 30. We are just not doing too good. We're working multiple jobs just to survive. We're not owning anything whatsoever. We're having to rent and buy every resource in little bit of ounce of time. We're eating foods that aren't healthy for us, not by choice, but just because that's what we can afford or that's what's available. That's the kind of statistic I am, and boy, do I have a story for you. It's fun times. But, the reason I wanted to really put this video out there is because a lot of us are struggling, not just in America. It's kind of seeming like a global thing right now. But, as of 2026, it is July when I'm recording this. The only thing I'm really seeing on YouTube and social media is struggle. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to share my story and the struggles that I'm going through to get a conversation going. I'm sure many of you are also going through it too, and maybe we can provide each other some insight. So, what's going on with me and why am I a statistic? Well, I am approaching 30 years old. I am married, and I'm living with my parents. Yes, I have a child on the way, and I'm excited and happy about that. But again, let's not forget that living with my parents part, because I'm in so much debt that my paycheck doesn't even cover debt, let alone living expenses, right? So, story for you. I am going to make a video about this because the whole thing was ridiculous. But I made the mistake of buying property in 2024. And I don't just mean like some abandoned house, right, that I can hope to live in. I mean actual real estate in an HOA community. Yeah, worst mistake of my life. But that led to me trying to sell the property, right? And it putting me in tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt just to sell. Not to mention living there was also awful expense-wise, but I'm trying to sell the property that I purchased, and the closing costs are so great that it's setting me back tens of thousands, and I'm having to pull out a loan just to leave. Yeah, that's how cooked we are. That's how cooked I am. And granted, I should have known better. Why would I think as Gen Z I could ever own anything? Well, I couldn't, and I didn't, and I made the mistake of trying to buy a property. So yes, that one is on me. But I think we're all in the same situation where it's like, hey, we're never going to be able to achieve any kind of dream or own anything. Now, keep in mind, I actually tried. To buy property. I wanted to prove everybody on the internet's wrong about, oh no, yeah, you can buy property, right? Because I've got a good job and a stable career and this, that, and the other. But nope, complete fail. Wouldn't recommend. The internet's was correct. And here I am, now married with a kid on the way, right? Because I thought I had security. I thought I had a house, but I just didn't. And I'm paying the consequences. It's very difficult to buy stuff at the grocery store. Once again, my monthly payments on literal debt are more than most people's living costs. And the reason I wanted to share this is because, again, I don't want you all to feel like you're alone. I think a lot of people are going through this, right? So I had to pull out a loan to close the property, a very large tens of thousands of dollars loan, which has a massive monthly payments, right? And if I don't pay it within 12 months, I either need to put it on another loan or I'm going to be paying retroactive interest. And that's not very fun. That's going to cost me more thousands of dollars that really I can't be wasting. Not to mention all the medical expenses, right, that come with having a child. And again, children and having them in your life, I think is a beautiful thing, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't come without its challenges. And I think we all know that in this day and age, the healthcare system is genuinely, it's awful. I have a friend who he's got an autoimmune disorder, and he can't get any care. Nobody knew what was going on with him for the longest time. No doctors could figure it out. They just sort of said, "Hey, why don't you come on into our office? We don't know what's wrong. Hey, take this painkiller," or whatever the heck it is, and just kind of him being passed around from one doctor to the next, and it basically being the same thing. So, yes, I'm excited, but I've already had so many expenses, right, just to get where we are now, my wife and I, and that's a tough thing. So I'm navigating those expenses, the loans, obviously car payments, insurance, that sort of fun stuff. Groceries, let's not even talk about it. It's awful, right? We try to get some normal groceries, and when I say normal, I mean, not Gatorade and Coke and cereal and things that are killing us, right? I mean actual food, apples, meats, seasonings, raw ingredients to make bread and noodles and that sort of thing. But the dilemma that we're all in when it comes to food, right, and it goes hand in hand with the medical system, is with food, right, it's we don't have the time to make food because we have all these bills, and because we have bills, we need a job. And because we have a job, we don't have time. And because we don't have time, we can't make food. And because we can't make food, we can't have healthier choices. And we can't have healthier choices because grocery stores are owned by large companies, and the food that comes to them is created and produced from really 3 or 4 max parent companies. Now, not to get all into the depth about this and to get too esoteric, but the point I'm trying to make is, man, if you even want healthy food, that's hard. You have to go to local farmers or you have to grow it yourself. People who aren't in the system, right? Adding all these growth hormones and spraying weird chemicals on their vegetables for supposed health reasons, right? That takes time, that takes investment, that takes research, it takes community. And that's something not a lot of us have anymore. We have family, which is great, but when was the last time we all sat around a campfire as a community and shared resources and shared knowledge and shared good times? It's probably been a long time. I'm pulling it string to even consider and think about the last time that happened, or pulling at straws. Yeah, I'm pulling at straws to find the last time that happened. So what do we do? It almost feels like it's designed and it all goes hand in hand, right? Because you have this bad food, you don't have time to even make half decent food. Then you get sick because of it. Then you go to the doctor. They can't do anything for you, just diet and exercise, and by the way, here's a painkiller. Oh, by the way, this is going to cost you $3,500. Oh, you have insurance? Okay. It'll cost you now $2,000, but everything else you just came in to do was elective, meaning it's not essential for your health, so insurance is not going to cover it. Wow. That's just a full loop. And for my non-American friends, it's my understanding that some countries, they just don't do health insurance. It's a very American thing, most countries, right? And healthcare is covered by the government. So this idea probably doesn't make sense to some of you. If it doesn't make sense to you in a practical sense, I'm glad. But can you kind of see how difficult this is on us Americans, and why not to be the victim, but why we're suffering a little bit? Okay, so let's take this from the beginning, right? This is kind of how my life has been. You spawn, you are created. You live life as a kid, you have some good moments, some bad moments, you have a childhood, right? You grow up. Then you realize, if anything else is going to happen in my life other than staying in my parents' basement, and just chilling and not doing anything, right? Not getting married, not having a spouse, a significant other, not going on adventures, I'm probably going to have to pay. Oh, and if I need to pay, then I'm going to need money. And if I need money, I'm going to have a third or more of that taken by the government and other agencies without my permission. Then I have to go and buy things to even go on an adventure, right? Backpack, shoes, all that, fun stuff, makes sense. But then I have to pay for transportation. Then I have to pay for expenses. Then I have to eat. Oh, well, turns out the food I'm being fed isn't really food. It's not healthy. In some countries, it's not classified as the food that's being sold to me, right? Some foods in the U.S., and I'm sure other countries, I'm just picking on the U.S. because it's where I live. Some foods, like breads, have so much sugar and stuff in them that they're not even classified by the FDA as food, because they've got too many chemicals, too many differing ingredients, rather, that you wouldn't find in bread. So, okay, let's continue. So you eat your food, and then you realize, man, that was all fun. Oh gosh, I have this massive bill to pay now. Well, I guess I can afford that, but wait a minute, now I'm back to square zero again. I'm back to square one. I have $0. Okay, let me go to work. Well, just to go to work, I need a car. Well, just to have a car, I need insurance. Well, just to have insurance, I need a driver's license. And just to have a right? So it goes on and on and on for all these requirements. And then eventually, a couple years later, rather, you find yourself basically where I am, a typical American statistic. You haven't even intentionally lived above your means. But as it turns out, paying rent and utilities is living above your means no matter where you are. And God forbid you want to take your wife on a date. And God forbid you want to go on an adventure or a coffee shop or have fun or not spend every waking moment of your life dedicated to making somebody else money. God forbid you don't want that lifestyle. But here we are, unfortunately. And again, as difficult as this is, it's my intention to build community through this channel, to inspire great minds, great thinkers, great inventors, people who want to move on from all of this, who want to enjoy life. I know that that's a lot of you listening, right? Because we're all going through the same exact thing. And I think that we need to cut the feeling of shame and guilt that we feel for being placed where we are. Is it just me? Or does it seem like you're supposed to feel some kind of guilt for being with your parents? Or you're supposed to feel some kind of guilt for only working for $16 or $17 an hour, or whatever it is that you make, or whatever the minimum wage is, because that's the only job that you can get. I'm very grateful for the job that I have, because it is above minimum wage. But it's, I don't feel as though I can really leave right now. I've tried job searching, and I have done a video on, me having the unique perspective of being a hiring manager and how difficult it is to really get good roles and negotiate salaries and make a good living. It's really difficult. So to that end, I'm glad you all are here. My solution is to build. I'm going to build this channel out, in hopes that it's going to give you all ideas. It's going to give you all action steps and to let you know that you're not alone. And my hope is to build that up so that I can make something bigger for my family. And, don't get me wrong. I'm a hard worker and I will sacrifice a lot for my family, right? I have a job and I'm going to get a second job, so that my wife is able to take care of her body more, and her health and her pregnancy and all that. And, our child, right? So I want to emphasize that, there's nothing wrong with sacrificing and working when you have to provide for your family, but, that we're not going to stay here. It's a season. That's the hope. And you got to be really intentional about that. Because it's easy to say this is a season, right? And then just stay that way your whole life. But that's none of us here. That's not anyone's intention. We're all working on something bigger. Or if we're not, I hope that this does. I hope this is maybe the reminder, the wake-up call that, yeah, things are really tough right now for everybody, for your typical American statistic because of everything I said. But instead of trying to play the game of shells, right? Which is, oh yeah, if you buy this property and this investment and this, that, and the third. No, forget all that. Learn that you have to have your own best interest. You have to have your family's own best interest because nobody else is going to. And it's going to be hard. It's going to take time and dedication. But we are going to build something better. So that, my friends, is how I am a typical American statistic. And if you are a typical American statistic, I would love to hear your story. Is it similar to mine? Are you just drowning in debt? Are you using debt to pay another loan or another debt? Because that's kind of where I'm finding myself right now. And I got to tell you, it's an awful feeling. Are we using credit cards to survive, to buy groceries? Are we struggling to find jobs? Or even jobs that pay well? Are we living with our parents, right? Are you living with your parents? Are you ashamed of that? Again, I would love to hear if it's, just a me thing, but I know that it's not. And I want to see how my story compares to yours. So, yeah. Again, a lot to unpack here, and I think maybe in a future video, I would love to talk about, the house closing situation, but just wanted to make that a separate topic. So thank you all for listening, and I hope that this has just been an inspiration and helping you not feel alone. So let's get it. Let's improve our own lives.